Is it,
So there are currently 10.6 million reported cases of COVID in the United States and 243,000 deaths within the United States. In Wisconsin, there have been 310,000 cases recorded and 2,626 deaths. It is currently 11:06 a.m. on Friday, November 13th, 2020. Okay. Would you be able to state your name and do you mind sharing any demographic information for this study, such as race, ethnicity, age, and gender?
yes.
Okay, so
You want me to state my name?
yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Diane Carothers.
Okay, and then demographic information, so race, ethnicity, age, and gender.
Okay, I am 70 years old. I'm a female and I am white.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so then my first question is, what are the primary things that you do in your daily life?
Well, I am retired now, so basically I do whatever I have to do or do whatever I want to do.
So, would you mind stating where you live and what it's like to live there with the pandemic?
I live in Fort Atkinson, Wisconsin, and it's a town about 12,000 people. I believe it's a little over 12,000. Anyways, what it's like to live here, it's peaceful, quiet. I mean, we got entertainment here if we want to do participate, but it's just a small, quiet town, you know, that I feel safe in.
Yeah. Any like major changes within the town due to the pandemic?
Not changes to the town, it's just changes to the businesses that are here and the events that go on that have been canceled and everything. Those are changes and stuff, but the town itself really hasn't changed.
Okay, so then when you first learned about COVID-19, what were your thoughts about it and have your thoughts changed since then?
Well, when I first learned about it, I wasn't really super concerned about it because it just, you know, it was new. Nobody knew much about it. And we went on with our daily things that I used to do all the time until it came to, I believe it was in March when they told us we had to have a lockdown and stuff and that. So can you repeat the second part of the question?
So you just said how you thought about what your first thoughts about COVID. So basically, like, have your thoughts changed since then?
Oh God, yes. I know it's scary to go out of leave my yard. You know, if I go any place, I just go to the grocery store and I get up very early in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning. So I'm at the grocery store by 6:30 before there's hardly anybody in the store where I feel comfortable enough to buy groceries. And I try not to go for every 2-3 weeks. Basically, that's all I've gone to. I've been going down to the senior center one morning a week for 2 hours. We have a knitting group, but I think after this week, I will not be going down there anymore because Governor Evers wants us to stay home.
Understandable.
And yeah, and my thoughts are that we got to get this thing under control somehow. So we all have to do our parts by staying home.
Yep. Okay. Well, then what issues have most concerned you about COVID-19 then?
How a lot of people do not even take it serious. I mean, yes, they might be one of the lucky ones that don't contract it and get sick. So they figure, well, it's not going to affect me, but I'm afraid it's affecting more and more people. It's like a wildfire in Wisconsin right now, and people just don't seem to be afraid of it. But we are afraid of it. So we stay home and do what we have to do and just survive. We don't have to go out, and we gave up things that we used to always enjoy, but we want to be able to enjoy them again.
Mhm. Yeah. Do you have anything else to add to that?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Um, then have you felt that you have, oh my gosh, cannot read my own writing sometimes. Okay. Have you ever, like during this pandemic at the beginning of it, did you feel that you needed to help in any way? Like to help protect people, do your part?
I would like to think I could have if I, had to.
Mhm.
I'm not sure if, because of my age, if that is something I really would have done. But now that we've been in it for what, 8 months or so,
About.
they talk about vaccine trials.
Mhm.
And believe it or not, it has entered my head that would maybe
Mhm.
think about if I was in the area where they needed people to volunteer
Mhm.
to test the vaccine, that I might consider volunteering for that.
Mhm.
But in our area, that's not something they're doing in this area.
Mhm. Well, have you done anything like even like besides just social distancing to help other people stay protected, like mask, things like that?
Oh, yes, I have help at the beginning. I think it was April and May for 2 months. I belonged to this group where we sewed masks.
Mhm.
And I figured at first I wasn't going to keep track of it, but then it just seems like, oh my God, it's growing and growing and growing. So I figure I have sewed over 800 masks that have been donated to different places and stuff. And people have asked for masks, friends of ours and stuff. And I've sewed them for them, and stuff, and they always want to pay me something. I said, no, you don't have to pay me anything.
Mhm.
Most of the material I already have.
Mhm.
So I guess I've done that for people.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
it's been, and I know now they publicize masks all over the place. So really, it's not a big demand that I know of around here that they need them yet, because somebody always seems to manage. I mean, just a bandana can be a mask,
Mhm.
you know.
Well, that's definitely helping at the beginnings, considering not everyone was selling masks and considering
Right,
was donating them.
right.
Very helpful at the time.
Yes.
Okay. So then, because you don't work, I don't get any work related questions, but how has COVID-19 affected you or your family's day to day life?
Well, it's like I said, we just can't go do the things we were used to doing. Like I always went walking every morning up at the hospital with three other friends. We'd
Mhm.
walk for like 2 miles up at the hospital. And then, like on Wednesday, my best friend and we used to get together at McDonald's and chit chat for 2, 3 hours, just enjoying our time together. And I do miss that.
Mhm.
And then I would go to the senior center a couple days a week to do things like knitting. We played bingo, we watched movies. We don't get to do any of that unless we sign up to do like bingo and watch movies, and only so many people are allowed there at a time. It's kind of like you got to plan for things you want to do. You can't just go and do it on the spur of the moment.
Mhm.
If I wanted to go down to play bingo, I had to sign up at least 2 days before, because sometimes I'd forget all about bingo until the day got here.
Mhm.
But now you always got to plan on what you're doing.
Yeah. What about anyone in your family? Have they had to change their day-to-day lives.
Oh, Grandpa did.
Recipe.
My husband, I'm sorry, my husband did,
It's all
you know,
good, Grandpa.
because, and he misses it more than I do because he had 3 days a week. He would play cards at different places. And he really misses that because he's more of a social person than I am.
Mhm.
And he misses throwing his darts on Friday. He misses going out for breakfast on Friday with his fellow veterans
Mhm.
and stuff. So he always enjoyed that. So but he is adapting. He's doing better. He's adapting. He goes for a lot of walks
Yeah,
and stuff. So that keeps him occupied.
that's good.
Yeah.
Have you felt any concern about your family's safety at all during the pandemic?
Are you talking about safety as being getting the virus?
Basically, yeah, like with your rest of your family members, like going places, sort of.
Well, of course. I am. I have two granddaughters that work at a grocery store,
Mhm.
and they tell me of things that are go on where they're required to wear a mask, and customers are supposed to be required to wear a mask. But lately there has been customers that don't think masks work anyway, so they don't wear them, and I feel bad for the employees that are there, because they put them in danger too. Then I got this granddaughter up there, Claire. I
Hi.
worry about her all the time, but I get through it. I just try to, she knows what she's doing, so
Mhm.
hopefully she knows how to stay safe, and I think she does.
Yeah, she does. Okay. Um, you kind of touched on this already, but has the COVID-19 outbreak affected how you associate and communicate with friends and family? So like have you changed how you've met with friends and family like outside of your household, that sort of thing? Or like kept in communication?
Yes, I would say we have, like I still go walking once in a while. My best friend, she only lives a few blocks away, and her and I have been going out walking.
Mhm.
But now that the weather is getting colder, we don't enjoy the cold weather, walking in the cold weather. That's why it was nice walking at the hospital.
Mhm.
And there's no way we can do that this winter. So unless the day is gorgeous in the middle of the day, we might go walking then. But we'll have to wait and see. And then we've had I have a brother and a sister-in-law. They come over once in a while, but very seldom anymore because of the weather. We can't sit outside and visit. So it's going to be interesting this winter because we live in a cold weather area
Mhm.
to see how we're going to cope with this.
Yeah.
Hopefully by the end of the year, we might maybe see a drop in our cases, that we're going to start feeling comfortable, a little bit comfortable again,
Mhm.
that maybe we can get together with, just even my brother and his friend, even if we just stand outside for a few minutes or something. But we'll wait and see.
Mhm. Okay, well then, okay. So then what have been the biggest challenges you have faced during the COVID-19 outbreak?
Um, I don't know, making sure we have the right things, our food supplies, our products, our extra products that we all need. Making sure I feel that I have enough on hand that if I had to be um, quarantined in
Self-isolated?
my house for 2 weeks,
Mhm.
that we would be okay with it.
Mhm.
That's one of the biggest, I don't want to say I'm hoarding things, but trying to keep a few supplies ahead so we don't run out.
Mhm.
And other than that, basically, like I said, we stay home most of the time anyways.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
if we need to get out, we go for a drive.
Okay,
I
very
gotta have some of my soda.
okay, Grandma. Okay, kind of like along the same lines of that, have you had any problems with getting your family to follow social distancing, especially at like the beginning of this all?
Have I had my family? Well, I always have to remember I always tell them when they go play, got your mask, got your mask, got your mask. Did you sanitize your hands?
Mhm.
Just kind of keep reminding people,
Yeah.
and stuff. So, and I still kind of have that same thing, my husband leaves, got your mask, but now we've got masks like in the vehicle, every vehicle, extra ones in the vehicle, in your purse, so sanitizer. We always got that stuff around, alcohol wipes, sanitized wipes. We have them in the vehicle, we have them in the house.
Mhm.
Something you never thought much of before, but
Mhm. Yeah. Okay then. Well, in terms of like what you do within the house, what have you and your family done for like recreation during COVID-19, considering you stay at home most of the time?
yeah, basically what I do is I knit or crochet.
Mhm.
I work a lot on that. I haven't been to the stores too much. I've been ordering things online if we need it, which
Mhm.
really is nice. And I'm a puzzle person, so I like to put puzzles together. And I've even put them together more than once. So I'm getting kind of low, but it don't bother me to have to, because sometimes it's been like 2 months or 3 months since I put it together. I'll try it again, but I haven't put a puzzle together lately. I've been doing a few things around the house. I painted my kitchen, finally got that painted. And this last week we tore up our carpeting in our living room.
Mhm.
So that was nice and had this gorgeous floor underneath that I didn't have to do much with. So, but basically just watch a lot of TV. We
Mhm.
got Netflix, Hulu, Disney. We just watch TV, watch the news. Sometimes we'll be getting ready to eat and I'll tell Raleigh, I says, we're not watching the news tonight. It's too sad. I can't watch it. But we'll be back tomorrow,
Mhm.
watching the news.
Yeah. And then kind of playing into the news then, where have you been getting your primary sources of news from during the pandemic?
Basically from CBS News channel. Well, here it's CBS News.
Mhm.
And I watch the 4 o'clock news because that's our local news.
Mhm.
And then 5:30 is the nightly news. I like to watch the nightly news, but that's the one I get a little frustrated sometimes with it. I can't take what's going on out there, especially around the election time. It's like, no, we're not watching this tonight. We've had enough of this.
Mhm.
But then we watch the news in the morning when we get up. And then I really got into watching. We always watch Sunday morning at
CBS?
8 o'clock on Sunday
On CBS?
on CBS. And because of the election and the coronavirus, I got into watching Face the Nation, which is a very interesting show.
Mhm.
So I've moved on to a little bit of that, but basically there, and Facebook
Mhm.
has a lot of things up, and I watch CBS News Madison, out of the Madison station. I get all my statistics for the COVID-19 from there, how many cases we got today, and I thought, oh my God, how much worse can it be?
Mhm.
But it keeps climbing. It's scary.
Yeah,
It's scary.
definitely has been. Then with the news, like, what do you find most helpful about your news stations that you listen to or watch?
Well, what I enjoy, if you can say you enjoy it, it's just you enjoy finding all the good
Mhm.
that can be found out there in this pandemic, what people are doing and stuff. Most of the time when I watch the news, I have tears in my eyes because of what the good these people are doing. And then you get the bad, but that all the good the people are doing is what makes you feel great. If you can say you feel good about a pandemic.
Yeah, that definitely understandable. Okay then. So, besides like family, that sort of thing, how have people around you, like in your community, how have they been responding to the pandemic?
That's a good question. You know, that is a good question. Like I said, I don't really, I don't read our newspaper anymore
Mhm.
because most of the stuff that is in that paper is when we finally get it, it's 2 or 3 days late. And I've already read it on Facebook.
Mhm.
We have this one guy that keeps us posted quite a bit about the news
Mhm.
and stuff on Facebook with in our town, which
Yeah.
is nice.
Mhm.
So, but otherwise, repeat the
Huh?
repeat the rest of the question.
Okay, girl, you can say it out loud. It's fine.
Okay.
Mostly just like how have the people like in your community been responding to the pandemic? So like if you don't really go out as much, like what have you been told? Like, how you said you have two granddaughters in the grocery store and they tell you.
Right. And well, I mean, a lot of the businesses now they offer curbside pickup, which is really nice because they have to keep their business going also.
Mhm.
And if we do go out, we just usually go through the drive-through
Yeah.
and pick stuff up. And this summer, when the weather was nice, we would go to the drive-through, pick up our food, and go and eat in the park. That would be our date day, we called it, because we didn't I have not been to a restaurant like some of our friends have.
Mhm.
And Raleigh and I just can't bring ourselves to eat at a restaurant yet.
Yeah.
Hopefully that luxury will be back in the spring, is what I'm hoping.
Yeah. So then kind of playing into that, like how has COVID-19 affected your community? So like you said with the businesses, but also like with schools or churches.
That's right. Our schools are all virtual except for the parochial schools. And the one parochial school, because my friend, her grandkids go, they have been doing very good. They've had a few cases or contacts
Mhm.
where they had to quarantine and stuff, but they're still in session. But all the public schools are online. And and they're online till at least November. I'm thinking it's going to last until way after Christmas. I wish they would just say till the end of the semester, which is the middle of January, but we'll wait and see. I'm
Mhm.
sure it will be. But and then like the schools, they're offering everybody free lunches that need it and stuff, just because the government is supplying them the money they need to produce, or what is the word I'm thinking,
Provide.
the provide, yeah, the money to provide the food so they can purchase it, and stuff. So, and they have pick up once a week for families that they get a breakfast and a lunch for their kids that need it, which is really nice and stuff. And since I worked in food service myself through the school district for 25 years, I really find that is a very wonderful thing they're doing for these families that still have trouble having enough money to purchase foods and stuff. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So at the beginning of all this, back in March, there was the whole idea of flattening the curve and like self-isolation. How have you and your family responded to the request of self-isolation? I know you've said that you've stayed mostly at home, but like have others around you also been, rest of your family been following?
um, I mean, in the family,
Yeah.
basically, yeah, I would say they've gone out and done some things, like they've gone, this summer, my son and his family, they've gone on camping trips,
Mhm.
but basically you're on by yourself anyways, and this and that. And we've gone to visit them at the campsites a couple times, which I felt comfortable at because we never really had to stop any place to get there from here to there. And we always social distanced. There wasn't anybody else around except, the campgrounds were full,
Mhm.
but people did social distance when they were there, which was great because you feel comfortable doing something like that.
Mhm.
And we have a place up north in Adams Friendship, and we've gone up there a few times, and we made very seldom trips into town. We just did a couple. We wouldn't even, we took most of our food with us, but once in a while we had to run into town to get a few groceries and stuff, but we always wore a mask,
Mhm.
always kind of just went in, got our stuff and got out and went back home. Never got like carry outs or anything like that, unless it was through the drive-through, and stuff. So, and then when we stopped and if we had to get gas, which just going up there, we never really needed it. We always, just paid at the pump where you came in contact with nobody, so we felt safe there. You could go outside and feel good, up there and stuff. So they had low numbers way back in the summer, but now their numbers are creeping up too. So,
Yeah, everyone's kind of is,
yes,
or kind of are. Let's use that
yes.
language. Okay. Anything else you want to add to that?
I don't think so.
Okay. Okay, then have you or anyone you know gotten sick during this pandemic?
Not sick. We've had to go and have a few procedures done.
Mhm.
I had to have one done in June at the hospital and had to have a COVID test and stayed quarantined for 3 days before my procedure. But I was in and out in 3 hours and I felt very comfortable being there. The
Mhm.
staff was wonderful and stuff. So I felt very safe going there. My husband had to go and have a procedure done too, and it was very, very safe. I dropped him off and came and picked him up when they told me he was done and stuff. And it was like 3 hours, and stuff like that. And I've had to go to the clinic for your yearly checkup to get your prescriptions and stuff. And I felt safe there and stuff. So, and I got my flu shot. So all that good stuff, they want you to do. So,
Yeah. Okay. Well then, considering you don't really know anyone who's gotten sick, have you had
no,
any like scares with people you know with like potentially getting it?
you know, it was in, it was probably in July or so, you started hearing of people you knew that had the coronavirus. And
Mhm.
that was kind of scary. I mean, like one person we know, he doesn't live here anymore, but one son went to school with him. That was a person we know, and he had a kind of a hard time with it. And I know of a lady, her son had it in town here very early in the year, but he has recovered.
Mhm.
So personally, I don't know of a person that I would be in contact with
Yeah.
that has had coronavirus. I
Mhm.
just know of people in the community that I know from a friend or
Mhm.
something, that I know this person that, that they know. But personally, me, I have not, do not know anybody personally that I'm in contact with that have had the coronavirus.
Okay. Well, what about family members? Have you had any scares with there being a potential like with a family member potentially getting it?
Um, one granddaughter, she was kind of scared about it because she has a friend in McGuanago, and
Mm,
the friend called her up and said that her and her family all tested negative for the coronavirus.
you mean positive?
I mean, excuse me, positive. And that she was very scared, Mystica was,
Mhm.
because she had spent the weekend with her. Well, it was just one night, Friday night and Saturday. She came home with her, but I says, now let's sit and think about this, Mystica. When did you go over there? And we figured it was 11 days that she had been with this person. And I says, well, Mystica, I'm thinking you're going to be safe because they just tested positive 2 days before, she called her. And I says, honey, and you hadn't seen her for 11 days. So they probably contacted that after
Mhm.
they seen you because the mom and the dad both work outside the home in that family. So, or the older daughter works, and maybe that's where, they brought it home. Who knows? But that was before the election. So that's been way over a week,
Mhm.
and Mystica says Macy is getting better. She just had mild symptoms, her friend did, but
That's good.
everybody in the family is doing better and stuff. And Mystica has not had any
Yeah.
symptoms of anything, and it's been way over 2 weeks already. So
Yeah,
thank God for that.
they usually say if you're within contact with someone within, like, I think 10, 12 days before they test positive,
Right,
there's the chance,
right. So,
but
yeah, so I was kind of worried about that, and so was Mystica.
yeah.
And Mystica didn't, said, well, she was worried about because she was supposed to get a flu shot.
Mhm.
So we checked with the clinic, and I said she hasn't had contact with this person for 11 days, and they says she'll be okay because she didn't have a fever or temperature.
Yeah.
She wasn't showing any symptoms, so she was still able to get her flu shot.
Mhm.
So, which was good.
Yeah.
And then every now and then the girls would come home with a story from um work at Pick and Save that they've heard somebody that might have symptoms of the coronavirus, but that's all they hear,
Yeah.
so. And it's scary. It's
Mhm.
scary. You just gotta just hope it doesn't happen.
Have you had any scares with, your one granddaughter up at college?
I know, yeah, she that crazy girl. She works at a daycare. But anyways, this was back at the beginning when school started, not too far in October, I think it
Yeah, it
was.
was in October.
That she was coming home from for a visit. And I remember she didn't tell me until she got home that they were in quarantine for a week and a half because one of her roommates
It
had
was
gone
about
home.
4 days.
Okay, so one of her roommates had gone home to visit home, and then when she came back, she got a call from her mom that's saying she tested positive. So they were in quarantine, but she wasn't going to tell me about it until she found out everything was okay. And she told me when she got home, I thought she didn't want me to worry, which was nice,
Mhm.
but and I'm glad she didn't, because as long as she wasn't sick, it
Mhm.
was okay,
Yeah.
not to tell me, because I'd be worried.
Mhm. Yeah. I know.
You know who you are.
Mhm. Okay, well, kinda steering away from family, um, how have the government officials in your community responded to the outbreak?
That's a good question. In our community,
Mhm.
well, I really can't give you an answer for that because I don't know. I
Well,
don't
just
know. I mean, I'm hoping that some of these small businesses receive some of the money that was allocated for
Mhm.
this purpose, but I really don't know if they have. I haven't heard anything, because right now we don't associate it with too many businesses,
Mhm.
basically just the grocery store and a hardware store.
Okay, then, well, considering not really local, have you felt that, Tony Evers' decisions with COVID-19 have been the right thing, basically?
I think they are,
Mhm.
and we all should think they are too, the way we should. to control this, but other people in, he's a Democrat.
Mhm.
In the House or the Assembly, the Senate or whatever, they're the senators we have, and his followings are Republicans. So everything he tries to do, they shoot it down. And I feel bad for the state of Wisconsin because this is what has to be done to control this. So whatever Governor Evers says, we try to follow the best we can.
Mhm. Yeah. Okay. So, with the whole pandemic, has your experience transformed how you think about your family, friends, and the community at all?
Has my experience?
Yeah, with your experience with COVID-19, like just living with it, has that changed how you think about family, friends, and the community?
Well, yeah, we should value our friends and family more than a lot of times than we do. And that's so, I'm not really sure how to answer that question.
If that's all you have, that's fine.
Okay, because I'm not really sure how to answer it.
Yeah, smaller towns,
I
they're
have,
not as
I,
as effective
right,
affected. So,
but I have, one of the ladies that I have walked with
mhm,
has passed away,
mhm,
not from COVID, but she had cancer. And now I feel like it was kind of hard because I didn't get to say goodbye to her or anything. I did watch her funeral virtual,
mhm,
and stuff. So, because I seen her husband at the grocery store a few days after she passed away, and I was talking with him, and I says, if I could, Greg, I would give you a hug, but I can't. And I says, I can't come to the funeral, but I will be watching it virtually, and this and that. And he says, yes, I figured this. He goes, I figured this is how it's going to be. So that was kind of sad
yeah.
to know that. And I had a brother-in-law that passed away in September, not from COVID, but other complications he had too. And that was kind of hard, but we did have a little gathering for him at the cemetery just for family. And then we went back to my sister's house and had a little luncheon just with family, and it was out in the garage and stuff. So we didn't, it's only maybe 15, not even 15 people there, you know,
Mhm,
for that, which was kind of nice. We could do that for our sister,
mhm,
and stuff like that. You kind of lose track of things that you can do and can't do, but you try to make the best of what you have. So I feel that we did good for my brother-in-law,
mhm.
which was nice.
That's good. Okay. Well, then I just have one more question. Knowing what you know now, what do you think that individuals, communities, or governments need to keep in mind for the future with COVID-19?
Oh, let's hope it never happens again in my lifetime.
Mhm,
I know it might in your lifetime, but I'm hoping we're more prepared
mhm,
and take it a lot more serious than we did. At first you didn't, well, you can't say we weren't informed, but they didn't know what they were dealing with.
mhm,
The medical field and the scientists, which makes it really difficult. And I think they will be more on top of these things in the future. Hopefully it will never happen again, but you just never know. And from day one, when they find out, they will take it more seriously, and us as individual will take it more seriously. Then, because some people figure, well, it's not down here, we're not going to worry about it. But I think we have to worry about it
mm,
and take it um serious from day one, even
mhm.
if it's not in our area.
Yeah.
We have to be prepared.
Mhm. Okay then. Thank you for taking the time to do this for me. Okay,
You are welcome.
I'm just gonna stop the recording and then we can stay on for a little bit.